Yeah!
Woohoo!
As Elton John once said, Saturday nights are all right for fighting. And if you're a boxing fan, apparently Saturday afternoons are all right for fighting as well. But for the mixed martial arts enthusiasts, for the UFC fan base, UFC back in the Pacific Northwest, UFC Seattle about to kick off in a little under 30 minutes time. As you can see, Henry Cejudo, former two-division champion, needs a win badly and takes on the 27-year-old Song Yadong in the main event. I think there's going to be a lot of finishes on this card. I don't think there's going to be a ton of memorable moments. We're going to be talking about this one for the next couple of weeks, but I think you're going to have a damn good time watching fistfights today, and we're here to talk about UFC Seattle and much more with all of you. Thank you for joining us. I am Mike Heck, and joining me on the People's Pre-Fight Show, the chair-swinging fool himself, the baddest stash in all of MMA, the one, the only Casey Leydon. How many chair spins do we get today?
Let's go one.
One.
Okay.
That's the same as Vegas 102, so not a lot of enthusiasm here.
Yeah, you got your spin, people.
Fair enough. Hey, look, this card looked way different 4 or 5 days ago than it does right now. So I get there was a lot of enthusiasm. Not so much now. I do think it's going to be a fun watch. I do think there's going to be a lot of finishes here. And yeah, main event's a good one. Co-main event's a good one. I actually like the featured fight a lot. I'm very intrigued by Rob Font versus Gian Matsumoto. I am like the opposite about Alonzo Menafield versus Julius Walker. That is just the weirdest piece of business I've ever seen. And Gian Silva's fighting, and you know that's always fun. So yeah. I think we're going to have a good time watching this card.
It's a fight night. Yeah, it's a fight night, and it's in Seattle, and there's some stakes. Not next winner gets a championship fight stakes, but things things will happen.
Yeah,
people will get punched. People will make.
If it's a cold winter day and you're just like, I don't feel like going out, or maybe I'll just stay home and watch the fights. I think it won't be a bad choice. So, all right, let's get to the peeps. What do they want to talk about? Is this going to be a UFC Seattle Q&A, or is this going to be like BTL was on Thursday, where we get absolutely no Seattle questions? And yeah.
All right. What we got here? Let me see.
There is no God, but the MMA gods. Just bleed.
All right.
Johnny, why Johnny? Okay. I like the enthusiasm early on here. Joseph, on Tuesday, Austin Vanderford signed with the UFC, competed at middleweight outside the UFC. Considering tonight it's at 175 pounds, which division do Mike and Casey think he will stay at in the future, 170 or 185? So he has had a fight. He fought for LFA not that long ago. I want to say, was it November maybe? His last fight was a welterweight fight. So I remember when I talked with Paige before her power slap thing with John Dotson's wife. Austin was like in the background, just kind of suffering, trying to cut weight ahead of his fight. So I kind of feel like he's going to stay at 170. I feel like that's where his future lies, because Austin Vanderford has a very good skill. He's a very good grappler. He's got good submissions. But the biggest issue he's had is that he is just so undersized in middleweight. And that was Bellator. If he tries to be a middleweight in the UFC, he is just got to get dumped all over the place. So I think 170 is where he will be. And if he finds any success in the UFC, it'll be at 170. What do you think?
Well, I mean, if he stayed at 85, I think he would just join the ranks of the very middleweights that are in the UFC. I think first of all, he's a UFC caliber fighter. That's all. I'm not saying he's a championship fighter. I'm not saying he's going to be a ranked fighter, but he is a UFC caliber fighter. Let's just get that out of the way. as how
He should
far
have
he
been
will.
signed. He should have
Of
been
course,
signed in 20 off the Contender Series without question.
yeah. I guess that's the main talking point for him. Now, how far would he go in the divisions? Obviously, I think he has a much better chance of eventually being a ranked fighter in the welterweight division. And if he can cut the weight, properly, obviously this is short notice. Yeah, he should. I don't expect him to be top 10. Excuse me, but he's a good personality. He's generally, he's just a talented fighter, and yeah, the fact that we're talking about him is a good thing for the UFC and him. So I don't know. It's not too much more you can ask for from just an early prelim fighter on a fight night.
A very, very nice guy too. Like anytime
Yeah,
I've talked to him, he's just a very nice guy. So
no issues.
yeah, we'll see what happens, and I think we'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot about Austin Vanderford tonight, dude. He's fighting Nikolai Veretennikov. Pretty good striker, man. Dude's got knockout power, so
Who is he fighting?
we'll see what happens.
Who's
The betting odds are like it's basically a coin flip for this fight. So
Okay, so he's
yeah,
fighting
minus 110 for Vanderford, minus 106 for Veretennikov. So
Yeah.
it's basically a flip of the coin.
It's so funny. His opponent got into the UFC after losing not directly after losing, but he lost in the contender series, and he's in the UFC first. So I don't want to get into the whole contender series thing, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. We don't need to go
Yeah, we
into
don't know.
hey, look up to get it. I will say also, just based on I thought Austin should have been signed. He was just kind of on the wrong episode because that was the Edmund Shabazian episode. That was also the Macy Barber episode.
Oh my goodness.
And Domingo
Okay.
Pilarte had like a sick ass submission on that card. So maybe they're just like, all right, we're only giving out 3, and Vanderford's probably the least impressive of the 4 finishes or the 4 wins on that card. But still, I thought he should have got in. But yeah, Shabazian
wonder,
killed the guy in like 30 seconds on that card.
I wonder if Vanderford did he sign to the UFC at the minimum, or did he kind of come with, give me a few extra, because I'm Austin freaking Vanderford, which I think he deserves because we're talking about him. So, I mean, I hope
I don't
so.
think he's. I think he's. It doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
Like, Paige is making a shitload of money with everything she's doing right now. I'm sure Paige doing the power slap. Not saying that Austin couldn't have gotten in without it. I'm sure it helped that Paige is doing power slap. Dana felt a little bit better about things with that relationship, and now Austin's in. So I don't know. We'll see. It's been good. Good on him. Good on him.
Good on him. All right. Thank you, Mr. Boza. All right. What else we got here? Hold on. Sorry, my comments are a mess right now. Here we go. Another one from Mr. Boza.
Ricky Simone, who's facing Javid Basher, has lost 3 in a row heading into tonight. Is he fighting for his job?
Possibly.
I think so.
How old is Mr. Ricky Simone?
God, I don't even know. 30. I bet he's like
Yeah.
32 or 33.
Yeah, 33. This will be his 14th fight once he makes that walk. Ooh, yeah. I would think I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is kind of a must-win situation.
4 in a row is
for
tough,
Ricky
man. Yeah, 4 in a row is tough.
Yeah, 4 in a row is tough, and he needs to win tonight. Let me see.
Spoiler alert. I think he is going to win. I actually think he's going to win.
Oh,
I think it's a pretty good matchup for him.
Yeah, but the Javid is he coming off a? He's coming off a loss too, right?
Yes.
Basher, yeah. So yeah. After
Loss and a draw.
Yeah, kick. Was the draw? Oh, no contest, right? Is he the guy that kicked my teammate in the? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, the no contest
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
The no contest.
the ding shot. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr.
David
Boza.
Sahabi. Yeah, Simone can win this fight. I think he has a very. This is Sahabi's real. Not Sahabi. That's who Basharat just lost to. Basharat is obviously very talented. He's got a terrific mind for the game. Ricky's just been in there with better guys. Like, of all the recent fights Ricky has had, even though this is still a tough matchup for him, this is the easiest. As weird as it says, the easiest fight he's had in a long time. It is, with most of the guys that he's fought. So this is I won't say that easiest is probably kind of rude.
Yeah.
This is the best stylistic matchup for him. This is the most winnable fight for him that he's had in a while.
I would agree. Thank you, Mr. Boza. All right. Masters of the Universe.
MMA Fighting Crew bring the fire times by 10. It's fat like Basharat flattery, and they keep going and going like an Energizer battery. Thank you, Masters of the Universe.
Appreciate it. Sleeto.
Thoughts on the speculation that Ilia didn't exactly vacate the title willingly? What did I say on BTL?
Yeah. Huh?
What did I say on BTL? What did I say? I said that the UFC was going to present this in a way where they'd be like, okay, you can move up to lightweight, but you're not the champion anymore. How do you want us to spin it? Do you want us to spin it as he's a pain in the ass and we rip the title from him? Or do you want us to spin it as this guy's taking the gamble? He is willingly and on his own accord vacating said title. Not surprised by any of this. And then Diego Lopez came. And I also said, I think the UFC is over the champ bullshit too. I think they're over it. And sure enough, it appears that is the case, according to Diego Lopez anyways, saying that the UFC has essentially told the fighters, look, if you're the champion and you want to go up and fight for another belt, we will allow that to happen. You are just not going to be the champion of your weight class anymore if you want to take that risk. And I respect the hell out of it. And if that is to be true, this is a win. This is an A++ for the UFC. And whoever creates the fact that there's even a rule in place for anything is unbelievable, let alone one of the most annoying things that the company has right now is everybody winning a belt and immediately they're saying, well, I'm going to go up to 185 in my next fight. Like Bilal Muhammad is saying, like, 2 wins and I'm going up to 85. I deserve a champ fight. What are you talking about? You just won the belts. You haven't even had a title defense yet. And now you're saying 2 wins and you can go up and do a champ fight? Get the hell out of here. It's ridiculous. So I love this. Absolutely love this.
It is ridiculous, but the UFC set the precedent. So
100%.
Yeah. So I don't blame the fighters. They're just kind of following the money. It's like, well, this is how you guys do it. And now the UFC realizes, okay, we've kind of cornered ourselves matchmaking wise, I guess, by doing this. So I just thought it was very telling the fact that Topuria didn't really say anything publicly about vacating the belt. And then the only thing that I saw, he posted a photo, an image of him, an AI image of him with the belt, not him just there. Like, because maybe he still considers himself the champion. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's like behind the scenes because it's kind of weird that champ vacates the belt and just radio silence from him. So,
yeah, I think he just said not like us and doing the thing. He feels like he's getting the Makhachev fight, and he very well could get it. But wouldn't surprise me if Islam Makhachev is like, no, I'm not doing it. I know his coach said otherwise because Islam's not like afraid to fight Ilia Topuria. This is the best division of the sport. There are guys who have earned that opportunity to fight for the belt. And I don't know. Like, Topuria could still fight for the belt, but it shouldn't be. There are a lot of people who feel like he should not be next in the octagon with Islam. It should be Oliveira, even Armin, although Armin's probably going to have to get another win. Yeah. But yeah, it's a weird situation. But the fact that Ilya's doing it and not as the featherweight champion anymore is A+ shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the UFC is changing course as far as that goes. So what's next for Ilia then? Is he will we be, as the media and fans, are we okay with him just getting a title shot now, or are we kind of demanding him get one victory as a contender? Or is it?
Doesn't really matter. I think he should. I would like to see him fight somebody. Honestly, he I don't think he makes this move without some sort of guarantee
I
that
would
he's
think
getting
so,
a title
yeah.
shot. But Islam Makhachev has, like, he's got some power here. He could say no to this, and he could play hardball. And they very well might make this fight. It might cost the UFC a few extra bucks in order for Islam to do it. But, Islam's his whole title reign has been super weird because it's 2 against Volkanovski, 1 against Dustin Poirier, and 1 against Renato Moicano. All the guys who were or still are at one point featherweights. Like every single guy that he has defended his belt against was at one time in the featherweight division for a long time. And even Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, don't forget Chucky Olives. Don't forget Chucky Olives.
I mean, but yeah, I think they end up getting this done. It is a big fight. This could headline International Fight Week for sure, and people would be super intrigued. I'm super intrigued by it, but I would also like to see Ilia Topuria fight Arman Tsarukyan or Charles Oliveira. Like, those would be fun ass fights. Really interesting.
I just see it. We're so close to actually getting, with one victory, we could get Paddy versus Ilia. That's just so dumb.
We could get it even with a loss. If he loses,
you're right. Even with a loss, yeah.
We can still get Paddy versus Ilia.
Yeah. Thank you, Sleeto. Yeah. This is still weird. Like, there's like a giant chunk of information that we don't know right now. We're kind of speculating, and really we just kind of wait for it when Ilia kind of comes up. It's the truth will get out there eventually, but yeah, interesting. Oh, so much drama. All right, super chat.
Does tonight boxing not deserve a watch party, Mike? No watch party. Sorry. Let the others have their time doing the watch parties, but will not be us tonight. Too much going on.
We just commented on. Oh yeah. Just in general, we used to with Lopez kind of. Isn't it weird? No, sorry. I don't know if you want to read the question. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're not podcast.
Oh. You're right. Sorry.
But thoughts on Lopez comments regarding Ilia moving out. I mean, we kind of touched on it.
But why is it Diego Lopez has to say? Why I kind of curious. Why isn't Dana? Why isn't Dana kind of, or someone from the UFC kind of, these are our new guidelines or something? I'm just kind of wondering why everything's just kind of, nothing's official.
I mean, he was probably just asked a question and he answered it because, I mean, the clip that I saw and that we wrote up, there was not a lot of context behind it. It was just Ilia talking about it. He also commented on Ilia moving up to begin with, which, if you listen to Dana's announcement, Ilia, he said basically, hey, yeah, the weight cut sucks, but he also said that Ilia feels like he's done everything he's needed to do at featherweight. And Diego, not that he took exception to it, but he was just like, I don't know if that's true, man. Like, there are guys in this division who match up very well against you and could maybe even get you out of there in a fight. Diego's one of them. Movsar Evloev, I still think that that's like a missing fight that I'm going to be like, damn, like, I wish we got that one. Because I do think stylistically, Movsar is the biggest threat to Ilia Topuria at featherweight. But we're never going to see that fight. I mean, look, Ilia did him a favor, man. Like, he did him a favor. Now he gets to headline a pay-per-view, fight for a vacant belt. He doesn't have to fight anybody else. He doesn't have to fight Movsar again before getting a title shot. Like, this worked out great for him. Tremendously great for him. So, and he's fighting a guy he could beat right now. Like, he could beat Alexander Volkanovski. I wouldn't favor him. I'm not saying he couldn't beat Ilia Topuria, but Ilia's kind of a nightmare matchup for Diego Lopez. But so, yeah. Interesting stuff.
So Volkanovski, it's still kind of crazy that Volkanovski will be getting a title shot after two basically being knocked out cold, and he's still I don't know. Has anyone gotten a title shot after 2 straight KO losses? I know every circumstance is different, but it's just, I still find it just odd. Just man, the guy's been knocked out twice, like bad, and here, try it one more time. New opponent. I don't know. It's just
I mean, the UFC owes him a little bit, so this is probably him cashing in his Money in the Bank
yeah,
briefcase.
I guess
Hey,
yeah.
I helped save your pay per view that fell apart. You lost your co-main event and your main event in the same day, essentially. So, yeah, I would like to cash in my favor and get my title shot. So,
Diego Lopez, if he becomes the featherweight champion, that has got to be one of the most just wild, just out of nowhere runs. A guy coming in late notice to fill in. He was late notice, right? To fill in originally when he came to the UFC, right? When he fought.
yeah, he fought Mozart.
Yeah, Mozart. Yeah, but it was late notice, correct? It was relatively late
Oh, yeah.
notice, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. And so yeah, just wild. That's just wild. This sport, man. Like the
Yeah,
one
hell of a
thing that
story, too.
the one thing that Dana said that's always been 100% true was like this sport, especially in the UFC, is all about timing. Just if you are in the right place at the right time, holy moly, you can just just perfect. And this might work out incredible for Diego. So yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
They have the UFC and Dana, they have the 80s WWE mentality where it's like, hey, we're doing great business, but you can get in and you have the opportunity to make a whole bunch of money. You just have to get over with the people and you have to win big fights. And not everyone can do that. But those who do get that opportunity. And Diego is just getting more popular by the day. So if he goes out there and finishes Volkanovski, holy shit, dude. He is in gigantic star territory.
I know I'm really jumping ahead of the gun, but like I really wonder off a loss, especially if it's a bad loss, what this does for Volkanovski's legacy. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about that when we get there. When is that fight again?
What else?
That's
Yeah.
in April.
314,
so
April.
2 month and a half away. Woo! Awesome.
It's a good ass card, man. It's a terrific.
That's the Miami one. Yeah, Miami one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. A little OT, but a couple of legends that seem to be forgotten about. JDS, Gus, Jacare. Can you talk about your favorite moments from their careers? I barely hear them mentioned now. Well, I mean, look. If GFL puts on events, you're gonna get to see JDS and Gus. Is Jacare at GFL? I don't think so.
I think Jacare
But
actually
JDS
retired. Jacare actually
Yeah,
retired.
I think he's just like, all right, the hell with this. I think he's just like coaching and stuff now.
Yeah, I assume. Yeah.
Look, JDS probably was in the UFC way longer than he should have been, but did the game bred bare knuckle thing and found a little success there and made some money. Gustafson just, I don't know, man. Like, he's had great performances. He gave John Jones.
Yeah, Dan Cormier, both of them.
Yeah, I remember the Cormier fight. That was a good
Yeah.
one. He gave Cormier and Jones like really tough fights and came up short in both of them. And he just never was able to kind of bounce back from that. He got the shot at John again, and then John just destroyed him in like the most non-competitive possible way. And then that just was pretty much it, man. Like,
Yeah.
just, am I a heavyweight? Am I a light heavyweight? What am I going to do? Just all this, lack of clarity in his mind with where his career was going to go and what could get him the best amount of success. And then we just haven't seen him in a while, but GFL came calling and maybe he fights. At least he's being mentioned. I mean, what can I say?
Gus is he is such a strange career because his 2 title fight losses, against the first ones against Jones and DC, like if you take away those fights, I don't really consider him really, like, even when he was around, like even a top 5 kind of 205er in the time, but way the opponents were at the time. I mean, even like him getting a title shot against Cormier was, to me, still bonkers because it was coming off a knockout loss, a horrible loss to Anthony Johnson, and somehow they reward him with a freaking title shot. I still don't understand it, but yet it made an incredible title fight, and then, of course Gus and Jones won. At the time, it was kind of like, well, Jones is out of opponents. let's throw this guy in and we'll sell it as he's really tall. And we all kind of laughed at it and wound up being John Jones's like one of just most incredible fights he's ever had. And it's just very odd. Just odd. I don't know. I always love Jacare. I was a big fan of him when he was in Dream. I was a big fan of him when he was in Strikeforce. And he's kind of like one of those just great middleweights that never actually fought for the title. That's all.
Very close. Was he the one? Jacare is the one that Kevin Holland like.
Yeah. Was it upkick? You upkicked him? Was it upkick? Jacare was.
No, it was like Jacare took him down, and Kevin like sat up and like hurt him as he was trying to like sit back up, and then Jacare kind of fell over, and he just got on and finished him.
Yeah, it was just
a weird one.
Knockout. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the fifth win of the year for Kevin Holland. So
yeah,
Jacare is fun. He broke Chris Weidman's heart and New Yorkers' hearts, just like Yoel Romero did. But good fighter, very good. Looked good getting off the bus.
Yeah,
the ageless wonder.
Yeah. He was the whole package. He had the gimmick and everything. It was great.
Remember UFC 249? Remember that fight week? He was supposed to fight on that Jacksonville card.
He was one of the first ones that popped for. Yeah,
he was the first COVID one. Yeah,
he was the
first on-site COVID fighter.
On-site COVID. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Masters Universe. Let me see what we got here.
What do you think it would take for Dana and Randy Couture to bury the hatchet, as it were, and once again talk about him again? Never. They're not. No. They'll never be buds.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But what would it take?
Dana holds a grudge, man.
But what would it take?
Randy Couture doing a press conference for 30 minutes saying Dana's the greatest thing that's ever happened. Ever.
Yeah.
Just putting him over. I lied. I was wrong. I apologize to Dana White. It would take Randy selling his soul to the devil for that to happen. And Randy is just not that dude. So
doesn't need it.
Don't think that happens.
This question threw me off because I never even like thought that was a possibility of them burying the hatchet. I was like, I guess it's just doesn't make sense. All right. Someone's asking, who is Chucky Olives? You crazy. Keep up, people.
That was Dan Hooker who created that, right?
Was it Dan? I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I think it was. They got a press conference. He just said he just threw out Chucky Olives. I was like, that is the greatest thing
That's
ever.
That's a great nickname, Chucky Olives.
Shout out to Dan.
Yeah.
The build-up for Paddy versus Ilia would be awesome. Would love to see that fight next if Paddy beats Chandler. Dustin Poirier weighing in thinks Michael Chandler's going to just beat the soul out of Paddy Pimblett. You know he hates Chandler, and it pains him to do it, to say it.
I think so. I think so too. But as another commenter said, Paddy, the comparisons aren't 100%, but he kind of feels like the lightweight version of DDP. He's like, how does this guy keep winning? And all of a sudden he's the champ before we know it. But we'll see. If Paddy beats Chandler, that is a great fight for both those gentlemen, I think.
Yeah. But like at least they gave DDP like some tougher fights up the way. Like eventually Paddy's gonna have to fight like Arman. He's gonna have to fight somebody like that. They're matchmaking him perfectly. And I'm not blaming the UFC. Like, this is how you build stars. If you see something in a guy, they're building him exactly the way you're supposed to build somebody. You're giving him guys who are on losing streaks or guys who are known, but he's still better than overall. And I don't know, who knows? Like, that is going to be the most interesting fight. Like, that is such an interesting fight at 314. Because if this stays standing, Chandler's a really good chance of winning this fight. But the blueprint has been laid out on how you beat Michael Chandler. And Paddy Pimblett is very good at getting on top and staying on top. If he just tackles Michael Chandler, he's got a really good chance to win. But if this turns out to be like a kickboxing match, I don't like Paddy's chances in this fight. But we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. But Chandler's he's got a lot of miles on him now.
It
And
sure does.
so I think this is, if there's a time in Chandler's career that Paddy can beat him, I feel like, this is kind of it. So it's a good fight. I honestly, I still wanted to see Chandler versus Armin, because I figure Armin has to get that win. But I thought if I just made a lot of sense, but for Armin, but yeah,
Oh
here we
my
are.
God. Yeah. I mean, I remember that
I
post show after that card. I was like, man, he actually called him out.
like, yeah.
Just get on the phone with Danny Rue and be like, make this happen. Whatever you need to do, I'll fight him for free. Give me this fight. So yeah, now Paddy gets the shot, and we'll see who Armin ends up fighting.
Fun times. One more super chat before we hit the predictions.
Prime Cejudo versus Prime Pants.
What is Prime Pants? Is that now? It's Prime Pants.
We're in the middle of Prime Pants.
Yeah, we're on Prime. Feels weird. Prime Pants.
He is Prime Pants.
Yeah,
you can make a very strong case that this version of Pantoja is like the third best fighter in the world, pound for pound. Like, I would be willing to listen to that argument, and would not say you're wrong. He's top 5 for me.
Absolutely, and sometimes I feel like, because I'm a big proponent of the smaller guys are kind of almost by default better pound for pound fighters, and Pants' resume, especially his last like 5 or 6 wins, is like incredible. And if you could really sell me that Pants is like 1-2 right there with Makhachev, and who else am I thinking of? Who else is the top of the pound for pound list? Pereira, all those guys. So
Ilia.
But Prime Cejudo versus. So I'm assuming this is Cejudo. Prime Cejudo would be 125. Because I don't think Prime Cejudo is not 35er, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would say I would pick this version of Pants to beat flyweight champion Henry Cejudo.
Me too. Yeah. So there you go, Steven.
I'd feel very confident in that.
Prime Pants versus Prime Mighty Mouse. I still go Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is Mighty Mouse.
I mean, I'd go DJ, but Jesus Christ, man. What a fight that would be. Like, that'd be some special shit.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
No.
Although DJ has not really done himself many favors over the last couple of days. But
I'm gonna stick to the in-cage performance of DJ. I'll stay focused on the fighting part.
Yes. Should we go to predictions?
Yeah, let me see if I get any more questions. Kind of skimming over these real quick.
We are live. There's the Space Needle. Climate Pledge Arena.
All right, one more question from Brandon Glover.
Do you think we could possibly see Cejudo move to one or some other promotion if he loses this fight, or do you think he would finally hang up the gloves for real?
So you're on the boat that if Cejudo loses tonight, especially if he loses bad, this is basically his retirement fight in the UFC, at least.
I think this is his last fight in the UFC if he loses. I definitely think that, because there's no money fights for him. He's not a money fight guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He could have been at one time. Like, he was on his way to being that after he knocked Cruz out, and then he left, and all his buzz is gone. And now he's kind of got his resume. He's hanging on really tight to that. But people just are like, they don't get the shtick anymore. You know what I mean? So, It's not like he could stick around and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna have money fights. It's not like Dustin Poirier could be like, yeah, let's go fight Max Holloway now and headline a card and it'll do bonkers numbers and make the UFC a shit ton of money. There's just not anything there for Cejudo. What's a money fight for Cejudo? The only fight that would make any sense, and it's not even like a big money fight, is if they finally pull the trigger on him and Brandon Moreno fighting each other.
But that's
And
just
even
that's
then,
just a fight.
like,
That's just a fight that
it's
makes
just a
sense.
fight.
Yeah, it's not even
It's
like
just a
yeah,
fight.
but yeah, it's just a
It's not like
it's a good high level fight, but it's also yeah, just a fight. Yeah.
yeah, that would have to be like a Mexico City main event, Moreno against Cejudo. Like there's that fight, but other than that, there's no hankering to watch him fight Volkanovski, or there's no hankering to watch him fight Sean O'Malley. Even when O'Malley had the weird ending to the Pedro Munoz fight and Cejudo called him out in the back, like no one was like, yeah, let's see Sean O'Malley versus Henry Cejudo. No one called for that. So I think this is his last fight in the UFC. Do I think this would be his last fight ever? No. It wouldn't shock me if like GFL signed him as a free agent, and if they actually post more than a event, they could do something with him. But yeah, there's just nothing left for him to do. He become like I just don't. Knowing how competitive Henry Cejudo is, I don't think he wants to be fighting the Javid Basharats of the world, because that's what he would become if he
Like
loses to Song Yadong.
like
He's fighting
Cejudo,
Ayman Zahabi, Mario Batista.
yeah,
Like,
Cejudo doesn't want to do the Aldo thing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. Yeah, and that's what
yeah.
he would have to do if he loses his fight.
Yeah, and with the Aldo thing is just very weird too. But that seems to be what Aldo wants, which is like okay, but yeah, so I assume Cejudo. He's like as soon as he retires, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like right, just for having 2 belts and 2 weight classes.
Yeah, they would make him that.
Yeah, just by the just the belts alone. Yeah, it's just so. It's
I mean,
of
beat
just,
DJ.
it's just so, yeah,
I don't think he won, but
he beat him.
He beat him.
He beat him.
He's the guy who basically beat DJ and got him traded to 1. So, and they were going to get rid of that division, and you could say like Figgy and Moreno helped save that division, but Cejudo was a big part of that division staying alive as well. So there was a time where Henry was getting some attention, and he had things going, and then what did he do? He just went and left and asked for more money, and they were like, okay, bye-bye. Piotr Jan's going to fight for the belt against somebody else. And then like we found out he's fighting Jose Aldo, and that fight rocked until Piotr was just like, okay, I'm done fighting this guy. I'm just going to finish him in the 5th round. You should go back and watch that. When was the last time you watched that fight? Jan and Aldo. Jan versus Aldo for the vacant belt. That was the Fight Island card.
I don't really. I watched it, but I actually was it better than did it hold up better?
Oh my god, yeah.
What was that? The co-main?
No, that was the featured bout. There were 3 title fights in that card. Oh, that was the first one. That fight fucking ruled. And then we got Volkanovski Holloway 2, which ruled even more.
Oh, okay.
And then we got Usman versus Masvidal, which ruled not at all. It was so bad.
Let's just don't talk about that.
It was a very, very, very bad fight that clobbered a very good, fun fight card. That fight ruined it.
I think that, yeah, you know what? That now that the kind of memories are coming back now, that main event kind of ruined the card. Yeah, I remember. It's like that's all we were just talking about. Just how bad that fight was, and it was just all you could think about. It's like, man,
foot stomps over and over again.
It was just, yeah.
I mean, Masvidal took that fight on like 5 days' notice.
It's kind of like
a week notice.
Yeah, we kind of fell for not fell for the narrative. I think we were hoping the narrative was like, oh man, Masvidal's coming for blood. No, it's super necessary that he knocks out Usman, whatever. But it's like, oh,
that was fucking crazy, man. Right. I remember the build to that card. It was like super fun because the fight card was unbelievable, and it was the whole like, what is Fight Island going to be? And it just turned out it's just going to be in Abu Dhabi, which was like disappointment number 1. But I remember,
the anticipation for that event was so much bigger than the actual event. Yeah,
I also remember that the video package that the UFC created for that fight card, like you played right before the weigh-ins, it played right before the fight, was the beginning of our reaction podcast.
It was?
For that fight. Yeah. It was me. It was my voice was the kicker. It was like It was like breaking news: Gilbert Burns is out of his fight with Kamaru Usman, and I was like, and now stepping in on super short notice is Jorge Masvidal. Like that was the beginning of the
Oh,
promo for that fight. Was our reaction podcast? Was our reaction show for that? So fucking wild, man. That was
like, whoa.
crazy. We got fights coming up, so let's do some
Yeah.
bonuses,
Yeah.
Casey. This could be one of those cards where bonuses could be hard to come by because I do think we're going to get a lot of finishes here. So, who do you think gets a bonus?
Ooh. Let me see. I'm giving a bonus to, I think Rob Font is gonna have a big night. I'm back on the I'm back with Rob Font. I believe in him. I believe Mr. Song Yadong will have a big finish. And fight of the night will go to, I don't know actually. I don't know. I'm gonna be boring and I'm gonna go Fluffy and Brennan Allen are actually gonna have a good scrap. A good scrap, because actually that's of all the fights, actually that's kind of the fight I'm most interested in, because I'm really curious on how good Fluffy Hernandez is, because he is one of those guys I kind of didn't believe in, but now I'm like, oh, okay, this guy is great. I want to see DDP versus Fluffy Hernandez at some point.
I want that fight so bad.
Yeah,
I want that fight so bad.
But Fluffy has to earn it, so that's why I kind of
yeah.
I'm all about Fluffy Hernandez. I love Fluffy's interviews. He's so kind of he's that angry I like. He's not like, I'm gonna rip these guys' head off. He just has that kind of permanent, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't want to say chip on the shoulder, but there's just something. He's just got a mean edge to him.
Yeah. I'm going Abdul Malik to get a bonus. I will go Ibo Aslan to get a bonus. Fluffy Hernandez to get a bonus.
Do you think he's gonna finish Song?
I do.
But bonuses usually go to like first round finishes. Do you think? But you think he can kind of, is he gonna like lose a round and a half, and then kind of get that comeback type of bonus? Or is it gonna be straight all Fluffy?
I think he's gonna smash Brennan Allen tonight.
All right.
Like and then I will go. I think it's gonna be like, I'll go Gian Silva. Those will be the 4 bonuses. All right, let's go to the main card picks. Let us begin with UFC newcomer. Can't believe this is a sentence, but here we are. Julius Walker making his UFC debut, plus 198 underdog, facing the 15th ranked Alonzo Menafield at minus 240. And I'm picking Julius Walker to get the upset. KO round 1. So, yeah, he might get a bonus, too.
Okay. Full disclosure, I made my picks before I realized his nickname was Juicebox, and that's a great nickname. So I would have picked Juicebox if I saw that first. But I went ahead and picked Menafield KO round 1. But I do believe this is put as the first fight in the main card for a reason, and because someone's going to get knocked out. So first round violence. That's all I'm asking for. First round violence from these gentlemen.
Then we go to Gian Silva, big favorite, minus 490 to come back on Melzik Baghdasaryan plus 380. Gian Silva, second round finish. Maybe first, who knows? Second round TKO by destruction.
Full disclosure, Melzik trains at my gym, so I am picking Melzik by questionable split decision.
Let's go to the featured bout. Bantamweights, Gian Matsumoto stepping in on short notice. He was supposed to fight at UFC 313, so it's not like he's coming off the couch. The minus 156 favorite to come back on Rob Font plus 132. Casey, you are picking Rob Font to get a bonus here. So what happens?
I'm back on team Rob Font. I thought he looked great against Kyler Phillips and short notice opponent. I thought he was going to put a whooping up on Cruz, but I like Rob Font, and I think he just had some some tough fights, tough opponents, but I believe in him. Rob Font, you can do it. Is he at TriStar though? Did he do the same thing Cater did? Okay, I'm still picking Rob Font.
He was a TriStar for Kyler Phillips as well.
Okay. Wait, there you go. Okay. All right. I'm okay. There you go. There you go. Rob Font.
You know, if Rob Font still had the full head of hair, I might pick against him. But now he's joined Team Shave Your Head. And honestly, Rob could have a friggin' mullet, and I would still pick him. I ain't picking against the New Englanders. Not my style. Rob Font by decision. I think he might lose a round. He might get taken down a few times. Might be in some tough spots, but Rob will figure it out. And then he'll punch Gian Matsumoto a bunch of times, and Gian will not like it. And then Rob will win a decision. That's how I see it. Anthony Hernandez, big favorite, minus 235. Come back on Brennan Allen, plus 270. Anthony Hernandez just does Hernandez things this entire fight. I think he comes out sprinting. This is not a marathon. This will be a 200-meter dash for Fluffy. He's going to come out like a rocket. And I think Brennan Allen just will take it till he can't takes no more. And round 3, the fight gets waved off. TKO win for Fluffy Hernandez. Oh, Modestus Bukauskas. Damn. Backflip. Oh, he just annihilated that dude. Oh.
Wow.
Modestus.
Yeah. Well, I think, I was going to say Modestus, which is for a performance bonus. So you didn't.
I have him. I look at our picks. I did pick him getting a finish. I did not see it going that way.
Yeah, I picked him.
Golly.
I want to know my picks. I'm on my way to a perfect night.
Yes, me too. But I'm going Fluffy Hernandez, third round TKO.
I'm going Fluffy Hernandez, unanimous decision, 30-25 though.
30-25, okay.
Yeah,
main event.
Dominant.
Song Yadong, big favorite. He is a minus 255. Come back on Henry Cejudo, plus 210. How does the main event end?
Knockout, round 4, Song Yadong.
Look at my picks. Go to the MMA Fighting Staff Slack and look at what I have done.
Oh, nice.
Just want to see your face. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks.
2 weeks in a row. Fourth round.
Yeah.
Hit the music. We're out of here. Modestus Bukauskas gets the first finish of the night. I think there's going to be many, many, many finishes on this card. And we will talk about it after the fact. So stick with us, MMAfighting.com. Terrific website. Shout out to Modestus Bukauskas. Gets the big win. And enjoy the fisticuffs. Randy's Donut, shout out. We love you all.
Inglewood.
We'll see you later on.
Bye.
Bye-bye.